Okay, we are going to talk about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are and phrasal verbs are, as the name tells us, verbs that create phrases. And in a phrasal verb consists of two things: a verb followed by a particle, and the particle, usually a preposition or even an adverb, the verb and the particle, they create a new meaning of the verb. So a new definition is made based on the verb and the particle together. So if you have a verb such as, let's see, we can use drop, the verb drop, to drop something. And we need to have a particle to that. For example, the preposition drop in. The verb drop on its own has a specific meaning, as in the same way as the preposition in has a specific meaning. Together, however, they create a new definition. Drop in means to visit, usually unannounced. You drop in on someone. So the main difference between a phrasal verb and a verb followed by a preposition and an adverb is that the phrasal verbs add information to the phrase. The phrasal verb changes the meaning of the actual phrase, whereas only adding a preposition or an adverb just adds information. Let's move on. So, the definition of a phrasal verb would be phrasal verbs. They create new meanings to the verb, or create a new definition. Okay. Then the difference from a verb followed by for example, a preposition and an adverb is that they only add information to the actual phrase. The meaning of a definition is not changed in the same way as particles do when creating phrasal verbs. There's another example I would like to share to highlight the difference between phrasal verbs and verbs followed by prepositions or adverbs. Let's see, the boy, let's use the boy looked through the keyhole. Let's see, let's do like this. Boy looked through the keyhole compared to the lawyer looked through the files. Okay. The boy looked through the keyhole, and the lawyer looked through the files. One of these phrases contains a phrasal verb, and the other the other sentence contains a verb followed by a preposition or an adverb, depending on the situation. Now, the boy looked through the keyhole. If we consider the verb look, by adding the word through, nothing really. There's no new definition of the verb look. The boy is still looking. It's just that there's a change of, I guess, angle or perspective. Instead of looking at something or inside of something or whatever it is, the boy is looking through. Okay? Whereas the lawyer looked through the files, this actually creates a new meaning. It doesn't looked through the files doesn't actually mean that the lawyer is Superman and able to have X-ray vision. No. He's just looking through, browsing the files, basically, not looking through them physically. Okay, so we have a new definition made based on the phrasal verb look through. Okay, I want to show you another example. He was thinking about you. He had to think over the offer. So he was thinking about you. He's still thinking. It's just that it's about someone. Whereas he had to think over the offer. Think over. We actually have a change of meaning here. Think over essentially means consider. He had to consider. So think over means consider, where i.e. a new definition is made. Phrasal verbs are mostly used in everyday situations, so not in formal situations, in formal writings and academic papers. It's in spoken language mostly, or perhaps as well in more informal context when you write, such as emails or informal letters or whatever it is, but or even in newspaper articles. But when we are required to apply a formal language, we avoid phrasal verbs. Usually there is a formal equivalent to each phrasal verb. If you compare to find out or to discover, then discover would be the more formal equivalent to find out. I wanted to share with you a number of phrasal verbs that may become useful. Put off, see off, or wear off. So all of these use the particle off. Live up to, or perhaps keep up with. Keep up with. Get on. Get by is another one. Join in. Join join in, call for, or call off. See if we can. There's another one I would see to. And the last one, let's choose one here. Wear off. No, I used that. Work out. All of these phrasal verbs actually have another definition than what you can't decipher what they actually mean just based on the words. You need to learn them. If you're native, obviously you know them because you've learned them. But we second language speakers of English we have to learn them before we actually understand what they mean. We can't translate them always to Swedish in order to understand it. So put off. Well, two things. Either someone is offended, you're put off by someone or something, or to put off. Students have a tendency to sometimes put off their homework for later. They postpone it. So to delay doing something at a later moment. When I told the match has been put off for tomorrow, so it has been postponed. See off. Well, see off. You see off a good friend. You usually are at an airport or perhaps a train station. So basically, saying goodbye to someone. That means see off. Wear off. Well, that's basically when you've stopped being interested in something or excited about something because it's no longer new. Sometimes we talk about clothes that wear off, or the link to the fact that wearing something is connected to clothes, and when they are old, we stop using them. So wear off is a novelty wears off; it becomes boring or unexcited, uninterested anymore. Live up to. Well, to do as well as someone is expected to, so to speak, to do what they promised. The film has certainly not lived up to my expectations, so means that the film isn't as good as expected. Keep up with, well, that's to manage to do as much or as well as other people, basically. You want to keep up with someone else, so keep up with how well this person is doing in school, or how well this person is at football, whatever it is. So Jack's having trouble keeping up with the rest of the class, so not being on the same level as the rest of the class. Get on. Well, if people get on, they like each other and have a friendly relationship with each other. So coming to really, enjoying each other's company. I've always got on well with Henry, so getting along with this person is get on. Yeah, get along is the same as get on. Get by, well, that means that you have enough money to buy things you need, and that's it, no more than that. You have money to pay the rent, pay for the food, and anything out of the ordinary is not included in getting by. So getting by is being able to cope, basically. Join in. You usually join in a discussion, for example, to take part in something. That's what joining in. Join in the discussion, please. Come in, take part of the situation, the discussion, participate here. Call for is to publicly ask for something to be done. Human rights groups are calling for the release of political prisoners. Requesting. Usually you talk. This is uncalled for. It's not really unfair. So when something is unfair, it's uncalled for. It's the opposite to request. But call for is to request something, and usually publicly ask. Call off means to cancel something. So the trip to Italy might be called off. We have see to. Well, that's dealing with something or to do something for someone else. Let's say, let's have an example here. go on, you go out, I'll see to the washing. So I'll take care of the washing, taking care of something. Work out. Well, we know this probably from going to the gym and working out, but there are other definitions of that phrasal verbs: to think about something and manage to understand it. For example, the plot is very complicated. In fact, it'll take you a while to work it out to understand it. Okay, thank you very much.